Hey everyone, it's your boy Matt. This is a personal update for 11th of December 2025. I'm officially retiring my psychology registration, I think next week. Put plainly, like I can't complete my program. It's been made impossible, really. It's a big deal because it means that I'll lose hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost income over the remainder of my life. I'll lose significantly less than that, but it's the reason why I chose psychology as a career is because I'm never going to own a home. I'm not going to be able to afford to retire, and I needed to come up with a vocation where I'd be able to keep doing it for a long period of time. And I studied incredibly hard. I built all the correct skill sets. It took me around a bit over half a decade to get where I was. I ended up having a few things which stopped that from being able to be completed. Namely, I've had to spend the last 3 years fighting some very corrupt people in our government who I just randomly crossed paths with, and I just happened to bump into some malevolent people, and they decided that they didn't like that I was doing better than them, so they tried to bring me down. And whilst I'm more successful than I've ever been in my life, I've got more public influence, more famous, more of everything, apart from the fucking income which I should be receiving from my work. Despite all that, I still have to give up that registration because I've had to involve my life trying to undo how badly they fucked up, and having to spend my time dealing with them rather than certifying as a psych. And I had to do that because they would just hack my stuff and harass me, and cause me all kinds of problems just because I ran into them at a certain point of life. Just because I randomly stumbled into these people and was associated with them. It's terrible. It's the sign of living in a corrupt country, in a dystopian nightmare where that kind of thing happens to you. I also had issues because I worked in an industry which was exceedingly corrupt. I complained about that corruption, and then they barred me from working in that industry. So I wasn't able to get work for a bit, and I'd end up going to job interviews, and there'd be fake job interviews with people who were trying to silence me, or there would be job interviews which were set up at fake companies which didn't exist, and all kinds of things like this. So I got properly arse raped. It's terrible what happened to me. So I wasn't able to work, and finally I had vexatious allegations that I was impersonating a psychologist. And again, I think the biggest thing I've learned is that people's jealousies and egos are very fragile, and if you do better than someone, they need to bring you down so they feel okay about themselves. This is the biggest thing I've learned. It's something which is particularly strong in Australian culture. We have something called tall poppy syndrome here. The idea is that if you're the tallest poppy, the tallest flower, you're up above everything, you're shining, everything's looking at you. Well, we need to bring you the fuck down. And that is Australian culture. So I basically achieved more than this nurse across a host of different domains, and was getting recognition for it. And the grumpy old bastard, he wrote a series of vexatious allegations to AHPRA, and then I had this moron of an AHPRA official kind of believe it for a minute. He doesn't anymore. He finally got the hint after the psychology employer bodies had a fucking conversation with AHPRA about it, and it got national attention. Then he changed his tune. But it's just not possible for me to complete my program in the time allotted. I've been getting work, and working is impossible for me at the moment. I'm still have to worry about harassment from the government. It's inappropriate for me to be in a situation where I can't escape. I'm a very politically exposed person. I'm involved in a large amount of politics. I'm exceedingly famous. It's not comfortable for me to be in a regular workplace. All right, it's just too much exposure, and I don't want that. I want to be able to separate myself from a volatile situation if I want to, and I can't do that if I'm employed and have to work with specific groups of people. This is why most journalists, political commentators and these things, they're able to get fucking income from their work. They will have a Patreon, they'll be able to sell books and merchandise, they'll be able to do these things. Well, for some reason I can't do that, and it's never been explained to me. I've been terribly abused by the authorities, and again, no explanation is ever given and no due process is provided, because Australia is an incredibly corrupt country, and I'm looking forward to getting out of it. Right? So either way, just an update on this. It's a real shame, because I've done such great work in that field and very passionate about psychology. Like, if I wasn't kept in the little box and bubble I'm in, I'd be able to describe my situation more articulately and advocate for myself. I'd be able to go to the universities and say, hey, this is my situation, can I please get into your clinical master's program or whatever. But that's not possible, and I'm not going to fucking waste another 2 years of my life on another degree if I'm not getting income. And the fact that it doesn't make sense why I can't generate an income, it's just seems like malevolent behavior by some shit eater in the state. It's immensely corrupt. It needs to stop. Like, we're meant to have freedom of speech and expression in Australia. I'm allowed to express myself. I'm allowed to be able to get money from expressing myself to fund my vocation, which is journalism. I would like the government to try doing this to News Corp staff. Do this to the staff at The Australian, okay? Tell all the staff, all the journalists at The Australian, that they can't get paid for their work and that everything they do is for free, right? See how they're going to respond to that, right? Do that to the staff at the ABC, right? Ask them to work for free, right? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely bloody ridiculous. Let me get my fucking money so I can survive, so I can rent a room where I don't need to worry about having to deal with people coming into my fucking home because it's advertised online, right? It's ridiculous. I don't have any safety or security. I want to have safety and security. I want access to my money as fast as humanly possible. This situation is terrible. It should never have been allowed to develop the way it has, and it's developed the way it has because of inadequacies in our government officials. Like, who the fuck thought this was a good idea? A fucking idiot, that's who.